Well, good morning. It is Monday. I got a tank of water, and as you can hear, it's very windy outside. We did get all the corn planted. I'd say probably 85% of it's up. Some of the later stuff that we planted isn't up yet, which is to be expected. I just did get done. So I'm not going to clean the planter up until we know exactly if I have to replant any or what. We just got 2.5, 3 inches of rain the last several days. Oh, I can back the pickup in here and fill the sprayer up. I thought it was jammed up over this, but it's really wet, and it actually helped the corn poke through a lot of it. I mean, a lot of it that wasn't up the other day is up now. It's poked through, and we can see it, and it looks good. The only problem we're having is in the vetch was so thick. We're seeing several acres of it up, and in the real thick spot, some of it isn't up. So I did have the planter set like really deep to help cut through it. And even though I had it as deep as it'll go, it's still planted at its normal depth. It was just taking that much to get through that and the ground. So we're gonna give it a couple more days. It's supposed to be nice the rest of the week. And after this rain, soften the ground up, see what comes up and what didn't. I don't know if I might have to just spot plant, or maybe it's just how it was. You know, we've never planted in vetch before. Like at my farm, I got a lot of rows are up, and then some of them are just starting to poke through, and then I got some that you don't even see any corn. But you go out there and dig, you end up seeing the corn. It just seems like it's taking a while for it to come through. Of course, that's heavy ground over there. It's a little bit, it did get a little cool after we planted it. So I don't know if it's just waiting to come up or what. But we're gonna give it the rest of this week, just see what does come up and what doesn't come up. But I think we'll be okay. Seems like it's only 2 farms with the vetch on it that we're having a little issue with. That stuff was thick, really thick. I mean, I've never planted through stuff that quite that thick. Seems like our other planter, I did plant through wheat. We had wheat one year that we decided not to harvest. So while it was headed, it was tall, thick wheat. I did plant through that. And with the old planter, you didn't have to put as much downforce or the depth on it as much. But this planter right here, I don't know if she's not as heavy, if there was an issue or what, but it just seems like the only problem we're having is in the vetch, in the real thick spots of the vetch was the issues. Maybe we should have ran the turbo till through it first, loosened up the soil a little bit better, and broke through some of that thickness and then planted it. But the goal was to go right in there and not disturb it and plant in it so it holds the moisture, if we do have a dry spell. But we'll see. It's my first time doing it. Maybe it takes this long for certain parts of different ground to pop up. Like I said, it's coming up nice in a lot of parts of the field, but where the vetch was really thick is where we're having an issue. But maybe it'll come up. Who knows? We'll give it the rest of the week and see how it all works itself out. But I'm gonna probably beginning of next week, I'm gonna be spraying the wheat with fungicide. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some clear all in it and fill it up with water, and I'm just gonna let it sit all week and just soak inside the tank and inside the lines. And then probably by the end of the week, go ahead and run it outside and blow all the lines out with the clear all, and just let it, at least go through 500 gallons here in the yard just to clear everything out, make sure I don't have any other chemicals that are left in it, because I definitely don't want to hurt any of the wheat. Go ahead and get it all cleaned out and get it changed over for spraying the wheat. So I was going to clean this planter up and unhook it, but we're going to wait, like I said, the end of the week, see what the corn does, some of it. If everything comes up good, I'm going to give it a quick bath. We are going to leave. I got 10 gallons of nitrogen left in the tank, and it's still through the line, so we're just going to clean it up. Instead of putting antifreeze in it, we're going to leave that little bit of nitrogen in it over the winter because it won't freeze up, and that should work out pretty good. But yeah, we'll get her clean. It doesn't take long to wash this thing, and then we're gonna get hooked up to that one. That's the bean planter, and probably spray. It won't take me long to do 500 acres a week. That's what we got. Maybe 2 days I can have that knocked out, and then we're going right into planting beans. So that's the goal anyway. But right now everything is just wet. I mean, it's really wet. There's no sense in probably all week doing anything out in fields, just letting it dry out and trying to get everything else ready for the next stage of when we can get rolling. All right, so I'm just back here looking at some corn. Most of this got planted after dark, and even though the computer said it was right, if you could see right here, I had to plant over some of that because I had 2 rows that, I guess when it gets dark, some of that corn starts to clot up in them air lines. So I had to get out and smack them a little bit, get more in there, but it's coming up beautiful. I mean, good spacing, good everything. So just wanted to come and check, make sure everything was a-okay. You can see there's 1 row right there that messed up right there. So there was 1 row that had cut off on me. It was clogged up, and I thought I spun around enough to get it, but once I got it unjammed, but apparently I did not. But 1 row out of 100 acres is pretty good. The backfield I planted early, it's coming up real nice. I just wanted to check because I knew somewhere right in that spot the planter had messed up like 15 feet on 1 row, but looks pretty good everywhere. I don't know if you can see or not, but for some reason those daggone airlines, one of them every now and then will mess up. But it wasn't anywhere else on the field. It's just at 1 spot, I remember. And I got out, and all you do is tap them. It's like it sends so much corn at a time to your little boxes, and I got out, and you just tap it, and it's, the air forces it into the box. So, but not too bad, not too bad. Good looking corn. Check all the row shutoffs. I mean, work perfect right up to the line. Nothing's over, works perfect right up to it. I like that. That saves you a lot of corn seeds. You get a lot more. Ever since we went to that, I don't know if you can, you can't see it. With your eyes, you can see how good it looks, but I don't know if the camera does it justice or not. But look at that. That's some pretty, it's coming up beautiful. This is some of the last that I planted, so all the corn's up. To replant, like, it's probably right around 15 acres over where the vetch is. At my farm, my front 2 fields are real heavy clay, and I have to replant them. It just seemed like it just didn't push it in the ground good enough. It was dry, but underneath that vet mat, it was pretty good moisture, and everywhere else on the whole farm it came up beautiful. But them 2 front fields are clay, they're hard, and I ripped them. I actually ripped down a bunch of the rows, and I didn't rip, the problem was I didn't rip all the field. I just did the inroads in a couple spots I thought that were going to be hard, it's up. If you look down the rows, it looks like this. When you look down the rows, you think it's real pretty till you get out and walk beside it. You can see big gaps, and then you can still see some corn that didn't actually get forced in the ground very good. So we've had tons of rain. The ground's soft now. It's dried out. So I'm going to go ahead over there. We done made the decision while the corn is just, the rest of the farm's just barely peeking up, to go over and replant them 2 front fields. That way we don't take a, and it's replant anyway, so we get it a little bit cheaper, but that way we just get a good yield on the whole farm. I don't want them to do, I think when the corn come up, it would still look good, but when it got taller, but you would see gaps, and I don't want any gaps. So I'm gonna go ahead and replant that today. On Dad's farm, everything looks good except for like 5 acres on another part of clay ground on that. It's coming up, but it's just not a good stand, and we want to get a good stand out of it. So the corn that I'm gonna go plant mine first, and then run the planter out on his, fill in, go ahead and just start and fill in, and wherever the planter runs out, it runs out. That way we get a good overall yield and stand on that farm, because the rest of that field, just like mine, I mean, it looks awesome. I mean, it's coming up just like this, beautiful, perfect space and everything, but there's just a couple spots where that vetch was so thick, it just, you know, it was just hard for that planter to get enough downforce to push in there. Of course, I didn't really have the downforce as high as I thought I should. I thought it would be okay, because I got out a couple times and was looking, everything looked fine. I should have put more on it when I moved up to the front side where the clay ground was. I should have put a lot more downforce on it, but I didn't. But, you know, it is what it is. 15 acres out of a whole bunch of acres that I planted. And having to replant that, it's not a big deal. I want to make sure it's right. And like I say, while the corn is just coming up, I want to get it perfect. So that's what we're going to do today. My brother, he's actually on his way to go pick up the corn seed, so it'll work out pretty good by the time he gets back. I'm going to go ahead and load the seed tender with beans, because the minute I get done replanting this corn, the planter will be done, because all the corn everywhere else has come up beautiful. So I knocked them 15 acres out. I'm going to wash the planter up, unhook it, and hook up to the bean planter, and it'd probably take me about an hour to get the bean planter ready. It shouldn't take me an hour, but just hooking it all, the hoses, I mean, there's on these new style planters, there's just so many daggone hoses you got to hook up, and I got to put the bean plates in it and get all that done. So probably about an hour, because I like to go right into planting beans today. It was a little cool this morning, but it's actually starting to warm up now. It's just, it's May 4th, and just got to get over this. I think today or tomorrow, and then it's supposed to be in the high 70s the rest of the week. So it's just weird how certain days are just the way they are. But that's the plan today. I'll show you. See, I mean, I don't show you all the good, I'll show you some bad. I got to replant 15 acres. So, and it's crazy that I got to replant that, but I don't, you know, technically we wouldn't have to replant it, because what's there end up coming up and it'll be what it is. But I just want it perfect. So that's why we're doing it, basically, just to get it perfect. So anyway, you'll see it in a little bit. All right, we're loading up the soybeans while I'm waiting for the corn. We are doing some Agrigold 4.4s. We've seen them in a test spot really good. And there's some 4.6s. So I'm going to put the 4.4s in the front pocket and the 4.6s in the back pocket. All right, so we got the, oh, I gotta turn the lights off. Couldn't see in that barn. Well, I didn't record any of the replant. It was about 20 acres. And when you're in the corn, it actually looked pretty good, but I just wasn't happy with the front 2 fields. So I went ahead and replanted. Got the other planter washed. We just backed it in. And now we're hooking up to the bean planter. I haven't hooked any of the hoses or anything up yet. So as soon as I get them hooked up, I'm gonna take these locks in the back off of her though. Well, I'm gonna have to pick her up first. But we got her hooked up, and you're ready to put all the lines to her and go through her and start planting. All right, so it took me about 45 years to hook all these lines up. Electronics. These planters have so many hookups, but it does make it nice because I can run everything right through the monitor on it. I do wish this one had, I got all the doors off. I'm gonna blow all these out once I get her unfolded. Put the bean plates in her because I used her last year for corn, but we drilled all of our beans last year, so I gotta take these locks off so I can bring these rows down hydraulically. I do love these things. You push a button and they fold right down and lock. But she's actually a really good planter, or she has been. We don't need that pump. I need to take that pump off of her in this rib ball system. The guy that used to have it had a tank on the front of his tractor, and but that's not. I do wish I had the 2x2 bandits on here, just like I did, like I put on that other planter. You can see her back in there dropped. Because I'd run a little bit of some kind of a mix for the beans. I think it would definitely help the beans a little bit, but she leaked down a little bit on this side. That's why she's leaning a little bit when we after we put her away. But with these right here, there's your corn rows, and these are here your bean rows in the back. You got to take these little air blockers out. That's how you stop it from getting air and seed when you're just using the corn rows. So I'm gonna take all them out, and then you just hook them back in once you take them little blocks out. Then you just roll with her. But really, if you were hustling, 25 minutes you could have this thing ready to go for soybeans switched over. You know, if you're just taking your time like we are today, it'd be an hour. The hardest thing about these planters, in my opinion, is hooking all the hoses and electronics up. But when you get them out in the field, I know it's not a 60 foot, but it's a 40 foot planter, and you can cover some ground 40 foot. Still, I mean, it's not like I say, she ain't 60, but 2 40 foot planters, you can get some major stuff done, I feel. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and I got to strap the lines up, take these locks out of the wings and the wheels, and I'm gonna get her unfolded and start pulling the stuff apart. And then I got to set the computer. She was set up for the 1770. When you plug her into this one, she automatically knows she's hooked up to this planter, but I got to switch her from 30 inch to, I want to make sure that the computer's set on 15 inch, and she automatically has her measurements in her. So, when you do auto steer, she's already set up to go. And so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. All right, so I'm pulling into the farm, getting ready to plant all that in soybeans. Got everything ready to go, hopefully. It goes all back. Our farm is behind these woods too, but it's a pretty big chunk. Got to open the gate first. That's where we're gonna start at. They're not done working the front, so I'm gonna start in the back. That's where we've been cleaning up at. They didn't get me lunch, so I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich packed for today. So, because they went to Burger King yesterday and didn't get me nothing, so I figured I'd do it all today. There's that massive stump that we moved. You couldn't get through here before, not with a tractor. We had to push everything up. Usually a lot of turkeys back here. All right, well, we are planting soybeans. Doing 170,000 is what I'm doing. It's actually 171. I got one row that's a little high, 100. Yeah, so right around 170, 172,000 is what I'm putting in the ground right now. And I got to get my section control. Figured out. That's what I'm getting ready to do now. I just did all the inroads, so I'm headed up now on the first straight stretch, and I'm going to get my section control figured out so I don't waste any more soybeans than I need to. And that's what it is today. These times you don't know what they are until you start messing with them and figuring it out. I got my corn ones set perfect. I know what they are. I wrote them down. The bean ones, I should have wrote them down last year. I didn't. I forgot. I meant to, and then I didn't do it. So I'm gonna have to. I guess she's shutting off way too early, so I'm gonna have to let her go in a lot longer. Damn, my brother's supposed to be bringing me a daggone sandwich. Who knows how long that'll take. It's all right. I'll readjust her and yeah, there they are. I'll go ahead and readjust that right now. Got it way too high. Coming out's perfect. On time is perfect. Off time is horrible. All right, so I will show you. I readjusted my section control. You go to GS3. You go to section control. Turn on, turn off settings. Now that's my turn on time. That's when I'm coming in, and that's my turn off time that's when I'm leaving. The turn on is when I'm leaving the row, and that's when I'm coming into the end row. Now I had it at 0.7, and when I saw that, I was like, it was supposed to be 0.1 because you wanted to turn off at the last minute. Never get it to 0.0. It's got to be set at something, so you want it to turn off at the last minute that it hits that line. So I forgot that you're supposed to set that at 0.1 is where I had it last year. So here I come up to the end row, we will go back out and check it again. Let's go check it. Being my turn on time is right, I didn't even bother going in and stopping. So we'll just go check the turn off time. All right, here we go. We'll find a better spot to dig. Here's my last row. All right, here's my last row. Sorry to scare you all with that close up. I didn't realize I still had it on me. Here's my last row right here. So let's see here. That I was doing over there was just the stuff we had. So now I'm in the no-till. Let's see what it looks like here. If I can find anything. Heck yeah. Come on. I know they're in here. They gotta be in here somewhere, unless I'm not even on a row. I know they're not that deep. Let me get right here. A little bit softer dirt. Okay, here it is right here. Let's see, where you at? Where you at? Come on. That is the last row right there, right? Yeah. All right. Nope, that ain't one. Let's see here. All right, there's one out here. There's the row. So I closed the gap. I must not just be looking in the right spot. And there's no way they're that deep. Let's go. Last row. Should be right here. It sucks when I'm doing it on camera and I can't get it straight. But you see, this is life. All right, so here's one right here. So that's about 6 inches, 8 inches. Let's try this row. All right, there's one right at it, so I'm just not hitting them because there's the plant line, there's the bean. So it's right, I'm just digging wrong. Let's go to the very end. See what we see over here. See, there it is right here. Right there. Here's the line. Oh damn, I can't find a soybean anywhere. And I know they're here. There's one. Got some onion out here I sprayed and killed. Must be losing my mind today, not being able to find them. I don't know. I know they're here somewhere. Yeah, see, here they are right here. So I found that one right here. Right there. Right where my knife was laying, right there. And there's the line right here. So it's right there. Little daggone things are hard to find. Oh. It's my baby. You will never hear me complain about this tractor the way, I don't know if any of y'all ever watch that Trippy Farmer. Let me put you up here. Let me put you up here. All right, there you go. You ever watch that Trippy Farmer? That boy has got more nice equipment that he ain't have to work for. Brand new stuff every day. And I've never heard somebody brag about their stuff that he didn't earn and complain about it at the same time. He's got a brand new DV60, and I've never heard somebody complain about it in his life. And he knows everything. His dad's the dumbest person in the world. He knows it all. I'm like, good Lord, how the hell did he get so many subscribers? With the way he acts, I don't know. You guys subscribe to the wrong people. Like Wes is truthful, I'm truthful. But you get these people out here like that, they just whine and whine and whine. And brand new stuff. You know, I've never seen somebody, they got 3 or 4 4-wheel drives and just, it's just ridiculous the amount of equipment they got. And man, all he does is just complain all the time. But everybody watches what they watch, so, you know, I guess he's more entertaining. Talks a lot, but he's more entertaining. He does got good drone footage, I'll give him that. But he's just the most unappreciative boy I've ever heard in my life. But that's just my opinion. I don't really bash other people's YouTubes, but I just saw one of his episodes last night, and he was complaining to death about it. He has a brand new tractor and a brand new thing, and then he brags about how much everything costs and the land, where they're at. I'm like, good Lord, you know, just be lucky you're farming. So, I don't know. It just irritates me sometimes. You know, this tractor right here is a 2012 8335R. And I feel like I waited my whole life to get in a tractor this nice. And I'm happy about it. Would I like to have the new 8R? Sure I would, but I don't want to pay $500,000. Even if I was rich, I couldn't pay $500,000 for it. Even if you had tax write-offs and you had to do this. I can understand a big combine, but some of them guys, like I just saw Larson bought another case. I think it's a 2020. He was mad because it was a 2020. He thought it was a 2021. Chet did, but it's a 2020 580 Stagger quad track, and they got 3 or 4 of them already. And then they got 2 new 8R deers, they got that 9R deer, and then they bought that 9430 tractor or whatever it is. They bought that used. I've never seen so much equipment in my life. And them guys just don't know how lucky they are to have what they are. They have. We got these 28335s and that 9200, and would I like the 9200 to be updated eventually? Yeah, because I like the R cabs. Man, I tell you, these R cabs are nice, but I would never want a new R. I just can't justify that money. It's just crazy how much you're charging for these R's. You know, 500,000, 600,000. The combine, they're so big, you need them. You know, I can see getting one of them new, I guess, to keep up, because there's so much that goes on with them, all the belts and chains. But the tractors, you can probably get away with buying it used, a couple of used ones, older, a little bit older. I mean, I wouldn't go 5, 6 years older if I was a big farmer. But for man, just, I don't know where I got off this rant. I was thinking about it when I seen this thing last night. It just irritated me. He got all this brand new stuff, and he's hard on stuff. I've never seen anybody that just slams steering wheels down. I mean, they got brand new tractors and combines. He just slams it down, and he's going across the field as fast as he can go, planting beans. I mean, and he's just turning in somewhere fast, and he just, when he goes down the road, if that tractor goes 35, he wants to go 35, even if the implement isn't a 35-mile-an-hour implement. It's just like, it just blows my mind sometimes. I don't know. But anyway, like, subscribe, share. That's the end of the video. I saw Wes. Good luck to you. You got that big planter out of the garage. And I tell you, when you were pulling up, trying to pull up, back up, and get going, oh my God, that thing is huge. And it's just a big, that's a big planter, man. Good luck, buddy, on, I hope you get around with her good. So, and you still haven't come down and got GPS. So, let me know what you're doing. If not, I can sell them to somebody else. See you.